Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. I bet you're wondering what I'm doing. Well, I'm shooting like a G-man. By the way, this gun has been safety checked. Stay tuned. I bet you're wondering why I was standing in that silly stance. Before we get to that, I want to go ahead and show you what I was holding in that stance. And this is a Nagant revolver made in the Tula factory in Russia. And the year of this particular revolver is 1944, the year that it was manufactured. I was using this to demonstrate the stance because I'm going to talk about that time period. And a lot of revolvers during that time period sort of had this similar kind of look. I'm going to set this safety checked revolver aside. And we're going to talk about this magazine. A very good friend gave me this magazine. And they spent 20 cents on me. And it was August. And the year of this magazine is what's very interesting. 1947. But the most interesting thing of all is an article that's in here called Shoot Like a G-Man by J. Edgar Hoover. Now, J. Edgar Hoover was a pretty interesting person in American history. He was born in 1895, passed away in 1972. He was appointed the director of the Bureau of Investigation in 1924, which later on became the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. And he was basically the first director, and he was director all the way up until 1972 when he passed away. So he was director of the FBI for a very long time. Now, he was pretty controversial while he filled that seat. He was known to harass political dissidents and activists. He amassed a large amount of secret files on political leaders, and he also collected a lot of evidence in less than legal means. And it's because of a lot of this controversial stuff that the director of the FBI now has a tenure of only 10 years. So they can't serve any longer than that. Anyway, let's get to the article. So look at this. Shoot Like a G-Man. There's a picture of J. Edgar Hoover. And about 80% of this article is about gun safety, not shooting like a G-man. Really not too much. It's talking about accidental discharge and, you know, about kids getting shot and all that good stuff. It was a big issue apparently back in 1947, as it is today. Now, the interesting thing in this article, let me remove this here. By the way, there's the stance that I was trying to copy. FBI approved hip shooting stance right there. And there's the prone position and the kneeling position. Now, another interesting thing in this article is here in 1943, 2,318 civilians met accidental death by means, by shooting, I guess, getting accidental discharges. And they say that 27% of all home accident fatalities in the 15 to 24 year age group. So basically 15 to 24 made up 27% of the 2,318 civilians that met their maker because of accidental discharges. And those are neglectful discharges, by the way. And this is, you know, that number is kind of interesting, and it just so happens, we'll take a break here from the article again, that I have this graph here, and I pointed out, like in 1943, on the amount of accidental deaths due to firearms, and we're all the way down here today, so we're doing something right, and that's because of training. It's not because there are less guns out there. Trust me, there's more. So, it's good to do a lot of training. And specifically safety checking and safety training. So anyway, they talk a little bit about the grip of the revolver. And you could see the grip that he's using there. Actually, he's pulling the trigger back over there. Now they also have a lot of do's and don'ts, which we're just really going to go over the pictures, not too much of the article, because I don't want to bore everybody to death. I like this. Don't shoot like this. Shoot like this. So don't lean back, which I have done. I've been known to do in some of my videos. Don't load your gun like this. Pointing at your crotch. It should be pointed away from your crotch. Here's a good one where the example is to not close your eye, but to keep both eyes open. Here's two examples. One, no, don't have your finger on the trigger when pulling out the holster. And here's one where the finger is sort of indexed aside, which is pretty good. I like this one. No, don't point your gun and smoke a cigarette at the same time as talking with a friend there. Don't hand the gun to another person while pointing it at them with their finger in the trigger. And don't shoot your sister. But really, really fun article here. Electric Eel. So most of it is talking about safety, and then they also talk about, you know, how to align your sights and how to look at the sights, and you know, your front sight is your primary vision, and then the secondary is the actual target, which is kind of interesting. And they talk about the trigger, and it should be between the tip of the finger and the joint here. They say if you put your finger through much more, then you have more of a chance of the rest of your finger pushing the gun, which I've also been known to do, which is why sometimes I shoot low and to the left. So don't put your finger all the way in the trigger. So, really interesting article. But I thought it'd be cool to show you all that before alkaline batteries. I'll let you look at some of this other stuff. It's really cool. By the way, it was in this magazine where they were showing off the trying to find it. Didn't mean to waste your time on other things. They were talking about planes, and they were talking specifically about the flying wing in here, which I thought was kind of neat, which we all know later became, there it is, later became the B-2 bomber. But there is the great-great-granddaddy of the B-1 bomber right there. That was the XB-35. Check that out. That's by Northrop. Anyway, I just thought I'd share. So thank you very much for stopping by the Gear Obsession channel here in the new year in 2011. I can't believe it's 2011 already. I hope that you had a great New Year's and a happy holiday, and I hope you stay with me for another year. Thank you, friends, subscribers, and viewers. You are all greatly appreciated.